From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
Welcome to Postcard from Poprad, wherever you are in the world, because we're just like that. Hello to Addy and Kevin. Hello, Mr. Warden. Oh, very droll, very droll. This is Postcard from Poprad. We're in the studios just alongside the beautiful Tatras Mountains. We are in Poprad. You can fly here easy. It's so simple, even Rachel can do it. Somebody's sending me love heart thingamajiggies on Facebook. How nice. We are live on so many places. It'd probably even be on the Mexican wave today, but that's just the way we are. First of all, we're going to cross over to the wonderful, glorious, and really relaxed Leigh Banks.
Hello, everybody. How nice of you to speak that. That's somebody else who wants to talk to me as well. Isn't it wonderful when the whole world wants to talk to you?
Is it?
Stupid phone. So, anyway, can I just ask a question just before we continue?
Yes, but you have to say thank you to everybody on Facebook for all the love hearts.
Thank you to everybody on... I love hearts. I used to love love hearts. They were one of the best. You could get them up your nose, so you got a triple flavour. It was almost like a double bauk.
Oh, really?
Yes, honestly. But can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Are we definitely on RTI.FM?
Yes.
Then I have some people to name as well, because they're very interested in a show on RTI FM, which is called The Dinner Party, Leigh's Dinner Party. Oh. And Leo Rick from a place called Punta Prima has been in touch and says what a wonderful programme it is and how wonderful RTI FM generally is.
Good, yes.
Wendy Wilson.
Hello, Wendy Wilson.
And Jackie. I can't remember her last name, but there's Jackie, because she only calls herself Jackie. I
have a message for you already.
Oh?
Yes. It's a different shameless plug this week from Leigh Banks.
No, I'll get on to Consumer Watch Foundation in a few minutes.
He's done it now. Look what you've done. Let's do a couple of others. Hi from Holland. That's Gaby. Hello to Eleanor. Hello, Eleanor. She gave me a hug the other night, actually, did Eleanor. Ken O'Sullivan is with us. Hello, Ken. Yay. Hello to Paul Newman, to Arpad, and Pauline is there as well. It's getting rather busy here. Hi to the guys over on You Now. Nora is there. Nice to have you with us, Nora.
Hello, Nora.
Hello, Nora. Hello.
Hello
to Mickey. Hello to Ahmed.
Nora.
There's so many more. Colin's there. As is, let's do some more. As a Colin from Stuttgart joined us just now. That's rather nice. Oh, my word. We just can't cope. But we're now going to have to go to the place that was promoted like mad yesterday on RTI. It is the continent of Australia and Rachel.
Hello.
Hello,
everybody.
Hello.
I've got to tell you, daylight saving has begun in Australia. And I don't like it.
It's dark.
Well, no, it means that I've got to be up really late at night to talk to you. But that's okay.
She's moaning again, Eric.
I know.
Every year we get this moan.
Can Rachel please say hello to little Patrick? Little Patrick, I think he's 6 or 7 years old, and he says hi, and he's enjoying us whilst playing Monopoly.
Oh,
Very
Patrick.
good, little Patrick.
Yes. Make sure you try and don't buy all the property at once. Do a couple of rounds.
Yes, but whatever you do, beat your dad.
Yes.
Hello to Tom. Hello to Tom Rivers. Hello, Tom. Also to Chris Medhurst, who's probably down, if I remember rightly, at Gatwick Airport at the moment. But they're very international today, you know. Before we start off into the programme properly, got a couple of things to do. Don't forget, today, everybody, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Today is World Smile Day.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. That's brilliant. That's like the best thing ever. I love World Smile Day.
Yes, I'm smiling on the webcams.
It's not hard to smile. Everybody should do it every single day, but it's nice to have a day to celebrate the smile.
Yes, and it's good for... Do you know how many muscles it uses? It's like doing an exercise.
What
It's
is
hardly
sight?
any. It takes more to frown. It takes more muscles to frown.
Therefore, you're fitter. Therefore, you're fitter.
Miranda says, good morning. And in which case, well, it's not morning where we are. It's not Guten Morgen. It's humida. Because it's lunchtime here. What? I'm a talented linguist, you know.
You are. I've heard that said. Very good with your lingo. Now, can we mention Henrik? Henrik in Sweden.
No, before we do that, we've got to give Pauline a little plug. Little plug for Pauline. She's actually going to be performing in Treco Bay, which is in Porthcawl. And she actually is a really good, I've seen her videos of her, she's a really good Shirley Bassey tribute lady. She's performing tomorrow in Porthcawl, in Treco Bay. And Pauline, break a leg when you go there, girl. Good
Don't
for you.
break a leg, that's terrible.
All right.
Keep your burly chassis hidden.
Anyway, more for Rach to gloat about before we get going.
What now? I love gloating. It's my favourite thing.
We had a message from Tanya Horniak, who's in Abu Dhabi, and she's, because I was talking about holidays yesterday, she said, for a holiday, the Great Barrier Reef. Swimming with wild turtles on a tall ship. It's just like a movie scene. You'll remember it forever.
You should come and enjoy it now before we kill it. Because it's not very well.
No,
but,
this is true.
You know, we're trying to save it. But it has looked better. But it really is a magnificent thing to see.
It certainly is. Branko is in Brisbane at the moment. He said, Brisbane's great, spent 2.5 years there, but Perth is the place to be, mate.
Oh, poor Branko.
That's very nice. I've been to Perth.
And then she doesn't know about this yet. She honestly doesn't know about this. Mike said, Petra, the pin-up girl of RTI Radio.
I think we have two pin-up girls, don't
I think
you?
you could be right there, because, Mike, you're going to be in so much trouble if you don't do both. Yeah. But I think Petra should come and say thank you to Mike. If she's listening in the office, we'll know if she's listening in the office, won't we? Because if she's listening...
she could still be ignoring you.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, she does that all the time, actually. Hello to Eric, Leigh and Rachel. I hope you're all very well from Duke. Hi to Anthony as well. And this is the best one of all. This is from a young lady called Aisha. I like this because when I can see people walking in the studio now with the webcam on. Hello, Trouble.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ako so máš?
Dobre.
Dobre?
I was hesitating to say it in Slovak or in English.
Nemôže byť?
Nie.
Nie? Veľmi dobre?
Veľmi dobre.
Fakt? Oh. That's really confusing.
Sounds like you're talking backwards.
They really need to have subtitles on the webcam.
There is no subtitles on the radio.
If Mr. Banks could see...
No, webcam.
Very good, actually.
No, on the webcam.
Loads of pin-ups, though.
Lots of pin-ups. Anyway, you got to say thank you to Mike Buster Summers, who said, Petra, the pin-up girl of RTI.
I think he's
and then
right.
We said
there's two. Rach and Petra, both on air.
Yeah.
Who's the best pin-up?
We could ask Paul D. Brown who he thinks is the best pin-up.
Yeah, go on then, Paul. Tell us who's the best pin-up. You'll be in trouble, though. You better pick them both.
I love it. I absolutely adore it. So you are the pin-up girl.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Go back to work.
Ciao.
Ciao. Yeah, go back to work. And Aisha, who's from Germany, says, I love your voice, Eric. Oh, isn't she sweet?
Aww.
It's only because he talks like that.
I do not.
You do. That's your voice, isn't it? You think you're Tom Hardy in the what's it?
Now, apparently, Leah has a little girl called Aisha. Hi, Aisha. Hello, Aisha. Dobrý den, Aisha. And is asking for Eric to sing.
Oh, that's just folly right there.
What?
We won't do it to you, Aisha. You don't need nightmares.
We could all sing it for Aisha. Twinkle, twinkle.
We're singing this for Leah. Not Aisha is mummy. Leah is little girl.
I'm sorry,
don't
Leah.
torture her either.
Just remember, Leah, I've said that...
That's wonderful. My old mate... My mate Jamie Campbell's just joined us. Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Jamie.
Lovely to hear from you. You know Jamie, actually, Lee.
Do I?
Yes.
Where from?
You wrote about him once.
Did I? I remember him. How are you doing, Jamie? It's a long time since we've spoken. How are you
very,
doing?
very, very long time. He's one of the great people in the armed forces in the UK. Good on you, Jamie. Anyway, Dave Rhodes says, "Oh God, don't sing."
Yep.
Come on, we've got to sing it for Leah.
But we've got to do it for Leah, really.
Yeah, twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Hang on a minute. I'm just going to clear my throat. Talk amongst yourselves a minute. Go on.
I'm clearing my throat.
Right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
We need to do this very softly, very softly.
Oh, we have to do it really quietly, don't we? Are you ready? In three. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little Leah, how I wonder what you are. Oh, there you go. Special, you see? That's what you call real radio, folks. And we have to say thank you to Green Blazer as well, who's just invited 186 fans to the broadcast. Well,
we like him.
Dave's just written, "Dear Ofcom," that's the regulator in the UK, "I'm writing to complain about."
How can you try and upset a young lady?
Of course not. Of course not. According to Miranda, my ears hurt but sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It was sweet, but it was really horrendous.
Was it?
No, it was emotional.
It was emotional.
Yeah, I was emotional.
Do you know, I think I was in tune. I just don't know what the tune was.
No, you were in Poprad.
Yes, very true. We move on to the news, boys and girls. Tom Petty, the singer-songwriter and member of the Travelling Wilburys, has passed away. There was a real nasty screw-up over this with CBS in the US, who said he was dead, then he wasn't dead, then he was dead, and he wasn't dead. But I'm going to... I kind of like Tom Petty. I kind of like the Travelling Wilburys.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say something now that Lee's going to rant about.
I might not.
You probably will. Rach is going to call me horrible.
Yeah.
There's no new news there. And I just worry about this because, you know, Tom Petty is a really good... bonsoir, mon ami. I'll get there in a minute. Pardon, Laurent. Bonsoir, les France. I'm doing very well with my languages today.
What are you going to say about Tom Petty?
We are going to mention the poor Tom Petty has passed to another world.
Yes.
And I think at that point, the next generation won't even know who he is.
I can't know. I don't think Tom Petty was up there in the upper echelons of the greats like Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan.
But he was to us.
No, he wasn't. No, that's the thing. Tom Petty, I love Tom Petty. I'm doing a show about him this weekend. It'd be interesting, not about all being sad about the fact he's dead. It'd be interesting about him. But the thing is, he was probably one of the world's greatest backing band leaders ever.
Yes.
And that really is where his fame lay. He had a good recording career of his own. He wrote lots of brilliant songs. But I hate to say it, he was a bit bland.
Oh, Green Blazer. There we go. Anyway, Green Blazer says, "Hi, RTI." Well, hi, back at you.
Not at this time in the morning.
That's true. This man, I've got so much admiration for. What?
No, I don't get to. Nothing. Never mind. Continue.
You don't get to wax lyrical about.
She didn't say anything about Tom Petty. Let the young lady speak about Tom Petty. She's our pin-up.
I was put off because Petra ran in the room.
Naked.
No.
Stop being distracted by your messages.
That'd be enough to put you off.
Right. Okay, wait a moment.
Yes.
Whole world, put your cups down. If you're eating, put your knife and fork down carefully.
What if you're eating the sandwich? Put your hands down.
Put your sandwich down on the plate. It is now time for Rachel to speak.
Yes. Come on, Rachel. You now have your opportunity. The spotlight is on you. You are pin-up number 1 and 2 all together.
Thanks. I was going to say, you said he was bland, and I think I have to agree because
Thank you.
As somebody was younger when he rocketed, and travelling Wilburys wasn't really in my niche as a younger person. I knew Freefallin', but that's about it. And I knew who he was. I knew who Tom Petty was.
Because
but I couldn't have told you farther along.
Yeah, I get it. We're going to move on because we've got so much to do today. Hello to Dominic. I don't know where you are, so I can't give you a proper...
Can I say hello to Henry yet, please?
After I've gone, bonjour, Jean-Pierre.
I've said to him 3 times, hello, Henrik, are you all right? He's in Sweden.
Oh, is he?
That's why I've just said hello to him 3 times now. 4 times. Hello, Henrik, are you all right, mate?
6.
7. Hello, Henrik.
Do you know, the next man that's passed, I have got so much admiration for, and people go, why? And I go, Jack, you. A lot of you younger people won't know of Jack Good. He was a television producer, mainly in the 1950s.
Oh, God, no.
What?
No, because I'm going to upset everybody now, because I'm going to be totally outrageous. How can any man who introduced Cliff Richard and Tommy Steele and Buddy Holly was good, actually. Tommy Steele and Cliff Richard, how could he ever have
and
done any good
Gene
for the world?
Vincent.
Gene Vincent was really good.
Yeah, at a time, he did most of his TV in the late 1950s.
Yeah.
By the way, you're being chastised. Henrik lives in Norway, not Sweden.
Oh, that was
I'm so sorry. Who's that? Who's told me off? I bet that's Steve Carr.
I'm not telling you. But Steve Wilkinson's just joined us. But no, I think Jack Good, who was a producer in the late 1950s, has to be admired because at the time when the BBC and everybody else was saying, we can't have that rock and roll stuff, it's bad.
Well, we got Cliff Richard instead.
You can't have those young people enjoying themselves. The guy put Gene Vincent on the TV.
Gene Vincent was cool. Yeah, see, that's cool.
Anyway,
Billy Story, he was good.
He was really good, and I admire anybody who is prepared to take a chance like Jack Good did and go against the norm in broadcasting. What a great guy!
I agree, and I apologise for Richard and Tommy Steele because they're knobs.
Oh, you're so bad. Anyway, apparently, Jack Good was hired, and he's quoted as saying, "Those fat guys at the BBC said, you look like a young chap, put something together with mountain climbing, fashion for girls, that sort of thing." And what did he do? He put together a rock and roll show. Good man.
Yeah, good on you, Jack.
Yeah,
be good.
Good man. We like you a lot. But anyway, there you go. So a little bit of a kind of a hero of mine in some ways.
And a climb down by Leigh.
Bobby Nutt, the actor and comedian, has died as well.
Oh, poor old Bobby.
I know, but you know all about him because you're a big fan of Emmerdale.
Well, actually, you know what? Since we came back from Spain, you know what we've done is watch past episodes of Emmerdale. And you know what? He wasn't in any of them. But Bobby Nutt did appear in Emmerdale between 1995 and 1998, and then again in 2004.
Was that 1995?
I did, or 1895, it might have been. But he actually became the voice of all sorts of things, like on adverts and stuff like that. There was that wrestler, I can't remember his name, who was the voice of the North for so many years. And Bobby Nutt stood in and took over. I didn't like Bobby Nutt, actually. I thought it was a bit of a... Yeah,
okay. We move on then. Susan Farmer from Hammer Films. These two, ladies and gentlemen, will now wax lyrical for hours.
I've never heard her, have you?
No,
never heard of her.
Oh.
No.
Well, I thought you two film
You should
bus...
have heard of her. She was Coronation Street, wasn't she?
She was in Coronation Street. She played Sally Robson, whoever she was. Now this is a claim to fame. Susan Farmer, who's died aged 75, appeared in Coronation Street as Albert Tatlock's chiropodist.
Well, there you are then. I mean, what more do you want?
Absolutely. We love you, Susan. It's so sad that you've gone to the big farmer in the sky.
The great maker.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think this is kind of interesting, bearing in mind that I got a bit off my trolley this week, which I don't tend to do a lot on Facebook. And I said to anybody who was in favour of gun laws staying the way they are in America, that they could... I'm going to unfriend them. And this woman from Tennessee, she came on. She's actually a country singer, right? And I know the lady. And she was furious at me. She was absolute. Oh, she ranted. So do you know what I did? I deleted her.
Oh, no.
That's your right to do that.
Yeah, it's your right to do that, but not in America with a gun. You can't go deleting people in America with a gun, and that's what America seems to think they need to have the right to do. Let's go and delete some people with a gun. How outrageous. And for that idiot Trumpington to actually come out and not be able to fall down on the side of protecting humanity while he's trying to wipe out the rest of the world at the same time. Yeah, lads, have your guns to go and shoot everybody. Yeah, lads, let's go and kill the world.
I have to say, one thing I was shocked about this week was the National Gun Club actually coming out and saying, we think we should tighten the laws a bit on automatic weapons.
I think that was an absolute sop to what they see as a potential public opinion. I think I interviewed the gun club about 2 years ago when the school shootings were taking place, and their rabidness, their defence of the right to own a gun. Who did they think they are? John Wayne and Robert Mitchum? This is the real world. This isn't a film set. This is where people get shot to death because you are walking around with guns stuck down your socks.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing I would add, and listen to me seriously, in America, those listening in the States, just like there, our police officers in Slovakia carry guns. They do.
Yeah.
You know, it's very commonplace to see military, police, whatever, carrying guns on the road, and it's marvellous. I feel safe with that. What you don't see is a bunch of blokes driving around with tons of them in the back. There are gun clubs here. There are all sorts of clubs. You can go hunting, you can do all the sort of things that they claim to have. But there are controls on guns. There are controls. And
the thing that really bothered me about this the most, when you're talking about, you know, blokes riding around with lots of guns, I get that Americans feel very passionately about their Second Amendment rights, and I have no problem or quarrel with that. But I do have a quarrel with, originally when the Constitution was originally written, the guns that they had then were very, very different to the guns that are available today. There is no reason for a civilian to walk around with a weapon of mass destruction.
Correct.
That can shoot 90 rounds in 10 seconds. There's no earthly reason why a citizen needs to carry a weapon of that nature.
No. Come on, America. Shape up. Tell the world we want the gun laws. I understand the Constitution. I know the Second Amendment and all that malarkey. It takes some people power now to push the people in power to get them to say, OK, let's just revisit this and add a little addendum to the Second Amendment. And do you know what?
Well, the problem is the NRA is a very powerful lobby and they shoot a lot of money.
I know they do, but screw the NRA.
Oh, heck.
Well, yeah, but money talks, you know. That's the sad thing about it.
Anyway, that got huge publicity. And one thing that didn't get huge publicity out of the Vegas massacre, and I'm slightly annoyed about this as well, there were 6 British soldiers actually on break there. They've been training in the desert. And they are troops from the Queen's Dragoon Guards. Most amazing group of people. They really are. And they were in Vegas, and they were staying in hotels near Mandalay Bay, and they heard this unbelievable noise created by this Stephen Paddock chap, and they decided not to run away. They ran in to where the bullets were flying to get people out.
Yeah, that's right.
Soldiers' instincts.
They did, and they were actually asked on the television if they'd do it again. And one of the troopers, Ross Woodward, said, "It's a decision that will live with me for the rest of my life, but I would do the same thing again." That's what you call proper Brits doing proper things. And do you know what? Nobody bothered to report it.
Well, they did. That's unfair.
Not much.
Well, no, I agree with you. I think there's an element of timing here. This story didn't actually come out until early hours of this morning, and it's now it's 6 days after the event, more or less.
Yeah.
And so it does tend to slip down the news agenda. But I am surprised as well. I'm surprised that it got so little coverage. I can only find 3 people who actually covered it.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, good luck to these guys. They're out in the California desert at Fort Irwin doing some training. And Major Ben Parkin paid tribute to the fellas for their selfishness in helping everybody out. And I have to say, they're due to fly back to the UK over the weekend. And have a pleasant flight back, chaps. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant.
Upgrade.
You'll see coverage.
Upgrade all of them.
I think they're heroes. I really do.
I think you'll see them arriving back in Britain, and I think they'll get back on the news agendas then. I think timing just didn't work out for them.
Possibly.
But when they arrive back in Britain, they'll be giving interviews.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah. A guy in Dubai is actually facing prison for breaking the law.
You laughed?
Yeah.
Because he's called Barkley?
No.
Oh.
Because we've covered this. I don't know. Can I cast your minds back, gentlemen, to a former Radio 1 DJ?
He means spin-up as well.
Yes. Guys, a former Radio 1 DJ was caught in Dubai smoking cannabis joint and was arrested and put in prison.
Yeah.
Who then said, "Yeah, but if I was in London, mate, it'd be all right."
Yeah.
And the truth is, he should have understood the law.
Yeah.
The same in Dubai. If you are caught carrying fake money of any calibre, you're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, but there is a difference here. You have to be realistic. The bloke who got cannabis or took it with him or bought it on the streets or got it off a mate knew when he lit it that he was smoking cannabis. There is nothing to say that Bill Barkley...
No, Leigh, what he said was it would not have been in this situation if I was in London, because it would have been for personal use and he'd just been told off.
That's right, but what I'm saying is Bill Barkley...
He didn't study the law.
But but there's a difference. He should have studied the law and he shouldn't have taken it with him, or he shouldn't have bought it there and he shouldn't have lit it. The difference is this bloke, Bill Barkley, went across there not knowing that he got a fake Scottish £20 note on him. It's not his fault. It was a mistake. He didn't go, why would you take a £20 fake note to Dubai to change it? It's not exactly the money laundering crime of the century,
No,
is
I
it?
think I'd have tried to change it here before I went over there and not got into trouble.
He didn't know.
Well, why would you change a Scottish £20 note in... Oh, no.
Because you got it with you and you
right.
thought you could.
Anyway, I don't think he'll go to jail. I think there'll be some sensible stuff like there normally is in Dubai, and he will be deported like the other numpty was, and he will be banned from... No, it's the law.
Yeah, but he didn't know he was...
He didn't really break a law. He didn't knowingly break any law.
The bloke who lit his joint did.
Yeah, he did, but the guy with the money, there was no intent. He didn't even know it was fake.
All I'm trying to say is, when people go on holiday, they should study the laws of the land.
Well, no, you should. You know what you should do? You should check all your cash before you travel to make sure none of it's fake.
Absolutely. I don't carry cash around.
Just in case.
Anyway, I'm going to rant again in a minute because a tin of soup first sold at least 46 years ago and a 35-year-old tin of sweet corn have been dumped by a food bank.
Donated.
No,
right.
they've dumped it.
You're right. I interfered too quickly. I am so sorry. That's twice I've apologised today. And I've not mentioned the Consumer Watch Foundation yet.
You have, once before.
Well, yeah, it's been ages.
Now, as the son of a grocer, can I just share with you?
Right. Yes.
Something to go and wire his studio, right?
Yeah. But don't go to university.
No. Waste of time. Don't start. There is a genuine way to check whether a can of food is edible or not. Doesn't matter how old it is. If you look at it, it's convex at the top, the tin. It's like bubbled out. And if the tin has got a dome on the top of it, rather than flat, it's compromised. It doesn't matter about the date.
No. That's worse than wiring the studio.
And they're like, I'm just trying to be good.
I'm just trying to support you, but it's getting sillier by the second.
We're trying to be sensible and not laugh.
But it's not working very well.
No, but you know what? If I just don't think. I mean, honestly, what in today's market in the UK, what do these items cost? What do the items cost now? What does this can of corn and can of soup cost?
Well, it should be in a museum, shouldn't it? It could be worth millions, more than. No.
If you buy them brand new today, how much do they cost?
About £1.
Oh, about £1. Yeah.
So why don't you just buy them, spend the £1, and then
what happens is, Rach, people clear out their cupboards, like when they move and things like that, and rather than shift all the stuff to the new property...
Are you taking this in, Rach? This is what happens.
They literally just take it to the food banks or, the clothing places, whatever, rather than do that. But what annoys me is there is so much food wasted because of this silly sell-by date, which is not a sell-by date, really. It's a best before date.
Well, unless you're reading the don't eat after date.
Well, yes.
So, can I tell you a true story about a chicken?
Is it relevant?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. No, this is true. I once had a friend who was a Hell's Angel who used to go and buy everything in all the shops because he was a bit of a girly Hell's Angel. He used to buy everything with a little yellow sticker on, right? So
because he was saving money.
Exactly. And he gave me a chicken that was out of date. And he said, stick it in your freezer. It'll be all right. So I stuck it in my freezer. 4.5 years later, I found that chicken and cooked it, and you know what it did? It just burst. It just became like dust in the oven. It
gets freezer burn. It gets freezer burn, and then eventually it freezes beyond. You know, the Ice Age. Nothing's like that.
That was like a scientific experiment, then, wasn't it?
It was.
It's not good. But you know what? I've got to question the psychiatric well-being of a person who hoards these things. For such a long time. This can, that's a long time to hoard tin goods. It's a very long time.
It's like the bloke with the £20 Scottish note. It's an accident, Rachel. Don't attack people all the time for these little misdemeanours.
No, it's not an accident in the universe that I live in, where everything is rotated on a weekly basis and orderly and alphabetised and stacked with the label outwards, so I know what it is.
Yours is a cruel world.
Yeah, cruel world. Well, this ties up really well with the next story I'm going to do. The Bank of Mum and Dad is closed in Australia.
And the rest of the world.
Well, we'll get a story about that in a minute from other parts of the world. Australians older than 50 are planning to spend their life savings before they die instead of leaving it to their children to inherit.
Exactly.
That's true. And good on them. I mean, this is not a new idea, and this story is kind of regurgitated every few years, but it's true. And a lot of the reason why is because young people can't afford to get into the homeowners market. They just can't. Yeah. So they're stuck in rental, and they're never going to own their own home. They can't possibly ever own their own home. It's, for many of them, it's something that is a complete far-off fantasy. Mm-hmm. So what mum and dad are doing is mostly they're not making them move out, for starters. Mm-hmm. People are living with their parents until they're, in their 30s in some cases more so. Unless you're me and your parents drive you bonkers and you just want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But then what they do is they end up inheriting the family home. And that's what they do. But mum and dad, I mean, my parents, I don't want anything from them. I want them to enjoy their years of having worked so hard. I want them to go off and spend all their money and enjoy themselves. I don't want their money. I got my own money.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I was talking only this week to a friend of mine who's actually taking equity release out of his home. Now I hear the whole world go, oh, you can't do that.
Why not?
Well, exactly. His reasoning is this, and I think it's perfect, good reasoning. He said, because I put into this house all my life, and I have a certain amount of money in that house, which everybody else in the world, from the government to my children to the rest of my family, can spend. The only person who can't spend it is me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he says, I am having it. And he's had it. Well, he's not had it, but he will have it.
Don't blame him at all.
Not at all, but people seem to think it's wrong, that you must leave your money to children. I've never had any money. I'm old enough to be dead now, and I've never had any money given to me or left to me. I've done all right.
Yeah, exactly. You make your own way. I think that's an important lesson.
I have to declare an interest here.
Go on then.
Because I do have a trust fund.
He does, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and everybody else. He has a trust fund, a big girl.
No, it's because that's what my father wanted to do.
That's a good thing. That actually is a very good thing.
That's fine.
Yeah, because he wanted to do it. It wasn't a barn. In fact, the whole thing was set up where nobody actually got anything in terms of, physical things like a house. Everything was sold at the appropriate time, put into a deposit account, and the 4 children each equally get the same things every month, blah, 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 blah. And
That's
it's a
good.
trust fund. And
but did he spend his money beforehand? Did he have everything that he wanted?
Oh, gosh, yes.
And it's a good thing. That's the way it should work. But for a lot of people, it can't work that way.
I encouraged my father to go to Saint-Tropez when he was 70 years old and was pictured there with young ladies with not a lot on.
Good on him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. A growing number of young people in the UK have got the same kind of thing. Research by Sky News shows that 65% of people aged between 18 and 34 are worried about how they will cope when interest rates go up.
I know.
But you shouldn't have borrowed too much in the first place.
That's a fallacious argument.
What?
That's a fallacious argument.
Why?
Because the young people didn't borrow money. They had borrowing money forced upon them by taking university degrees. And they're not going to hold the interest rates on the loans at the same level. They get credit cards are being thrown at you left, right and centre. When you've got no money, you can't get anything but a 0 hours contract. But you want things that other people have got. So society forces debt upon you. Society forces debt upon you because debt will keep you in work, is the theory. But it doesn't.
Yeah, but this is based about mortgages, Leigh.
Say that again, sorry, I missed that.
It's based on mortgages.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. A lot of bad lending. Yet again, people, our interest rates are dead low. Yeah, 5 times your salary.
Leigh, I've done it. I can't. Yeah. I'm not complaining about something I haven't done. I made the same mistake in the 80s when interest rates tumbled. I bought a property way above what I should have bought it. Well, the price was right. My wages were wrong. And then the interest went up to like 17.5%.
17.5%.
I was absolutely in doo-doo.
Exactly, we all were, but at least at that time you got a way of earning a living. You weren't having to work in McDonald's on a 0 hours contract for £5.50 an hour. You were earning X amount of money.
There were people doing that.
Yeah, but they didn't have the houses. What it is, there was a middle-class structure to society where people had good jobs and earned good money and bought houses, and we still got screwed. Now we've got this attitude towards people where, it's good to go and work in somewhere like McDonald's or go and work on a farm and earn no money at all, but you've still got to have your house. So society suckers you in to being in debt. That's the thing. Society makes you in debt because they need the interest on your debt, and that's why they try and.
Well, that's what makes banks work.
Exactly, and that's why they try and nick your money when you're dead.
Anyway, I know these two won't like it, but I've got to congratulate them, even though it was a rubbish game. England have qualified for the 2018 World Cup in Russia, having struggled to beat little Slovenia 1-0 at Wembley.
Are they playing tennis?
They might as well
That's
have
pretty
been.
embarrassing.
They might as well have been, Leigh. In fact, they'd probably be better off playing Tiddlywinks. It was such a bad game. And this story's just really weird. A massive python ended up being fried in a village.
Oh, it's scary.
Well, he asked for it, you know.
Apparently, this huge python, I've seen a picture, it's massive. It is 7.8 metres long. That's huge.
How big is that?
The thing that
25
I just find
Yeah.
baffling is, why did this fella even attempt to even pick it up? Like, what was he thinking? That's why he really.
I have
he should have gone
no
worse off.
idea.
And when he lost it, when he set his arm, did he eat the python in retribution?
No, they hung it up between two trees and they killed it.
Yeah, but did he have some? He ate his arm.
I don't know.
The man's an idiot.
I really don't know. This happens apparently a lot in Sumatra, where there are huge pythons. And back in March this year, the whole body of a farmer was found whole inside one of the snakes.
That's like a bird within a bird, though, isn't it, at Christmas?
Oh, please.
To Durkin.
Oh, you're so cruel. That poor farmer, he'd have been, well, he would have been, wouldn't he?
He would have been.
Actually, to be fair, it would have been a horrible, horrible way to go because it would be slow.
It would be
And it would
incredibly
really hurt.
slow.
Hold your breath.
Yeah.
Be
That, for
horrible.
ages.
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
very, very long time.
Die.
I want to wish, because Britain's terrible for this. I'm sorry, get my words out, because it really annoys me. Britain is one of the worst countries that I know for actually never catching anybody doing something good. And the Brits are terrible.
That's a complete lie.
Why?
Read the front page of
the
the
ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
where we're talking about people who are building an army of carers to protect the UK.
Yeah, but you are an exception to the rule.
On so many levels.
I like that, Rach. That was perfect timing. And this is a story. It's been. I reported on the original story, God knows how many years ago, with these people who did the first jet engine car that broke some land speed records. But they've built after 8 years of work. Bloodhound, as it's called, is back, and they fitted some engines to it, which means this car will go at supersonic speed. And the one thing that really caught my eye, and it really did catch my eye brilliantly, this car will cover 1 mile. You ready? And I'm going to give you I'm going to count it for you in a second. In 3.6 seconds. Yeah. So we'll start now. 1.
That's 60 miles an hour.
2, 3. Done a mile.
That's 6. Oh no, it's not 600.
No, it's not. See, this is my question.
If he offers you,
for?
because that's the old British spirit of doing it to get the Guinness Book of Records thing.
Why don't
does
they
it
do
run
something
on?
useful and figure out how to make it
It's a jet engine, Leigh.
Space.
So it runs on jet.
They should spend all their time working out how to make things launch or developing really fast transport systems that make people get from A to B really quickly, or not just because. That's just stupid.
Be brilliant to be able to get to the pub in 3.6 seconds, though,
That
wouldn't
would
it?
be good, wouldn't it?
Of course.
Then get back. Nobody'd notice.
Anyway, see, there you go, boys. They're not interested in you. Anyway, just to frighten some of the Brits now, the Catalan Bank is on its moving motion at the moment because of the big Barney in Spain, where the Catalonian people want to become independent of Spain. And if you don't know, I'm surprised you don't know, but I'm sure a lot of people don't, the bank in Catalonia actually owns the British bank TSB. Oof.
Get your money out and make sure it's not fake.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get arrested. Yeah.
So
what harm would that pulling out of Catalonia? How would that affect us?
Well, it's going to cost the bank a lot of money.
Yeah, which we'll have to pay for, of course.
Probably. Allegedly rumoured. But, this is the Trustee Savings Bank.
Nothing. Yeah. Why does Catalan want to become a separate state within Spain? Why doesn't everybody wants to live in Spain? Why don't they want to live in Spain?
It's just the same as Mrs. McNumpty in Scotland.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, you could go salmon fishing.
Yes.
Or in Spain, you can go sable fishing.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the next story, and I credit this one to Uncle Leigh for finding it, and I think it's a stunner about a nightclub.
It's wrong.
No.
It is. It's out of date because they found her.
No.
They are. Yes. And I wish I'd looked it up before, but yes, they found her. She's come forward, but she's apparently quite annoyed because 12 pence is missing from her purse, and she's saying, I want that 12 pence back as well.
When did she lose this purse? What year?
1981.
81.
Have you not drunk any tea today, Leigh?
I'm actually suffering from dehydration here because my PA has not brought me a cup of coffee or a glass of water in the last 3/4 of an hour.
But clearly you have not had a cup of tea today either.
This is going to be some sort of asinine joke, isn't it?
Yes. Because I just wonder where all your teas have gone in your words today, because you're normally very good at it.
My PA's now coming downstairs to make me a cup of coffee.
Oh.
Her PA's got the teas.
His PA's got the teas. Oh, flip. You know what I've missed, don't you?
What?
Do you not know what I've missed?
No, what have you missed?
The ad break.
Yeah,
you missed that?
I thought we didn't have one today.
I don't think we bother now. I'll take an executive decision. I'm having to say this very carefully. Titty not witty. This is a factory worker who's got the ump because the guy wrote it in a birthday card, a sort of what I would call a postcard type comment. You know, the joke postcard.
It's a limerick.
Yeah, it's just a little limerick. And
Lisa, bit of crime.
Lisa Vickers has been awarded £10,000.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
I
can imagine she's a bit up. Well, she might be a bit upset. Like, it's a bit rude. He used a 4-letter word in a greeting for her. But is it really worth 10 grand? It's not like he was walking down the street and she didn't know him. She knew what he was like. He was famous for doing this sort of thing, and he was just perpetuating what he thought was his crass sense of humour. And she objected. Why is it worth £10,000 to her?
Well,
it's a big deal these days. Sexual harassment claim.
I got a feeling
huge. Everybody's making them, and they're paying them.
This is called ambulance chasing lawyers.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, it's being chased by ambulances. I've never heard of that one.
No win, no pay.
Yes, no win, no fee.
It probably is, and actually, if it is, she probably got about 3 grand of that. So good on you.
No, because she'll get the court will pay the barristers or solicitors' fees. She'll get the tribunal awarded her £10,000. The actual other claims for expenses will be on top of that normally, Leigh, for a tribunal.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, yeah. But they're saying that he was known as touchy-feely, and Mr. Ravenscroft was too friendly with the staff. That's a terrible thing to say. He might have been a bit of a dork.
Excuse me, if I don't kiss Petra's bottom every day, she'd slap me.
It's funny, people get in my personal space at work, and I do not like it. But I'm not litigious. I don't go to sue them. I tell them to back up.
Yeah, but when you say back up, they say, how high do you want me to back up? It's a subtle difference there,
Because I'm seriously scary. It's not... Nobody comes near me at work. I have my own office now. They're too frightened.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Rashid, who's just joined us. Where have you been? You're late.
Late, Rashid.
I know, terrible this one. Anyway, I think, to be quite honest, and I'm not being horrible when I say this, this is typical English way of working these days. They go, oh, I can get 10 grand out of this. I'll go to a tribunal, blah, 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 and that's it. Whereas a few years ago, you used to have great TV shows like Benny Hill. You know, and... Yeah, okay, gone down.
True, though. But we've learned it all from watching all those terrible television shows in America.
That's very true. I'm not sure about this one, but firefighters are investigating something about wrapping up a child in cling film as a joke. I think this one was from you, wasn't it, Leigh?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting story.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah, the child was getting a bit out of hand, and in a joke, apparently, they wrapped him up in cling film. I think that's quite funny. That's what you should do with children. Wrap them up in cling film.
As long as you don't wrap up their heads, it's...
No,
that's right.
No, they mustn't die. You must, when you wrap a child in cling film, you must do it in a safe manner.
You want to restrain them, not kill them.
Yes, restrain them, but you want to be able to put them in the oven.
Yes.
Yeah, but
you want to keep them fresh.
Isn't this just another case, though, of, you know, politically correct gone mad?
Well, it depends what actually happened. The full story's not out. I think there is something a bit mysterious and a bit strange about wrapping a child up in cling film in reality, particularly when you're in a fire station. It's just something, it just doesn't ring right, does it?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't. Something's amiss.
So, well, either we've not got the whole thing, but based on what we've got, I just think it's a bit of a funny prank.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what we're both saying. Yeah,
just a prank. Yeah, it's like in the old days when you'd be out in a park and someone would throw a piece of mud at you, and it was funny. But today it's not funny at all. It's
sort of salt.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember there was somebody who lived next to my parents' house. He was about 2 years older than me, and when we were about 10 or maybe a bit younger, he used to think it was a great joke to lock me in the coal hole.
It was just funny.
Terrible.
It wasn't funny if you were on the inside of the coal hole.
No, but it was...
That's terrible.
I know what you mean, but...
He never got arrested for it. He never got taken to a tribunal for it. And he was too big for me to beat up, so he just got away with it.
I like the last stance. He was too big for me to beat up, so he got away with it. Yeah, typical Mancunian answer that one is. But I just think there is far too much of, this sort of free litigation. Now, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be support for real people when there are real situations. I'm not suggesting that at all. But I think this no win, no fee thing is getting out of hand, or has got out of hand.
Well, the problem is it clogs up the courts, so real cases are getting delayed because they can't be heard because it's clogged up with all rubbish.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, I don't know, there are touchy-feely people about. There are. That's just normal. Yeah. They're not rude.
No, that's right.
No, but they should keep their hands to themselves. I don't like it.
I agree with Rachel. There are people who, it's just not right. There is a certain space that certain people like to have between them and another. And I'm a great advocate of that, unless you're doing other things.
Unless it's invited. If it's invited, then that's a different issue. If
it's uninvited to do what he's trying to allude to, then
no.
It's all right.
You see, you lowered the tone of the conversation, ladies and gentlemen.
I never said anything. I was talking about making love. You were talking about sex.
No, I was not. You started the ladies and gentlemen's bit, not me. But I just think it's silly, you know. There's a habit here. If you see someone who's a little bit sad... it's very acceptable to either give them a hug or rub your hand on their shoulders as if to say, we care about you.
Yeah, and if you're not such a feely person, just laugh at them.
That's different from trying to open their expired cans.
No, I'm going to cough. Oh, that's the best one I've ever heard, Rach. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm crying. Oh, sugar. I'm sorry, everybody. I nearly lost it there. I nearly lost it there. That's nearly reminds me of a radio show called Splashback, but I'm not going there.
Oh, no! I banged my head on a splashback once. You shouldn't be talking about them.
I nearly died. Oh, dear. I've heard some euphemisms in my time, but that's the best one ever. That really takes the biscuit, that one. It really does. I think people should back down a little bit, calm down a little bit, be sensible. Down. Just calm down.
Everybody.
Well, you got to assess each situation for what it actually is, not what you perceive it to be.
Yes.
So, if somebody's coming at you, if you're feeling particularly, tetchy and off that day, you're going to react differently than if you were in a really good mood. So
yes.
You have to assess.
Yeah, I know. You just got to take it easy. And not get too upset about it. I've been very remiss, so I'm going to do a couple of other little messages on here. Mike's been here for a while. Mike Summers says, "Afternoon, peeps."
Hello, Mike.
Which is rather nice. Miranda says, "Loving the show. Have a good one, everybody." And Mike says, "We wrap the kids in cotton wool. Why not cling film?"
That's a terrible thing to say, Mike.
Close alternative. I like that one. Oh, and a quick hello to Barry, who's been sitting there nice and patiently, and Terence as well. Glad to have you along with us. This is the point of the show where we have to find out what they're going to be doing. It's the point of the show where I remind Leigh we are a responsible professional broadcast outlet, and things to do with ladies and gentlemen are not allowed at this point of the show.
I've been doing it all the way through the show.
I know you have. For goodness sake. Anyway, it's over to Rach to see what Rach is doing this weekend.
Well, actually, tomorrow I'm going to go for a drive for about an hour towards a place called Rye. And my dad and my stepmom have tripped over with their caravan from South Australia, so they're over, and I'm going to meet up with them at their campground and spend the day with them.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Has it got 4 stars?
Rob can't come because he's got to work. I don't know. I don't do camping.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. When have you ever seen a 5-star camping site?
I never have. I prefer my accommodation to have walls and be inside a building.
Well, this is true. This is very true. I've got to say hello to Katerina and also Monica as well. Well, I've done that. That's
Hello,
good.
Monica.
Hello. Leigh, what are you up to this weekend then?
I have absolutely no idea at all what will happen when I finish doing this. I have no idea. I have no idea. I may well go to the pub. I may go somewhere else. I am going for walks. I'm doing walking, you see. We're doing walking. 10,000 steps.
You've left your phone off the hook.
Right, now I'll just tell you very briefly. One thing I will be doing this weekend is finding out who's rung up every 5 minutes through this show and why there is a telephone in my studio.
I have no idea. None whatsoever.
I'm going to rewire it.
Are you?
Get to the bottom of it.
If Leigh's going to rewire it and you know his home telephone number, don't try calling it at home, kids, because it won't work.
And I'm sorry I broke Dorothy's.
It might explode.
Rach, look out for the spiders.
And the snakes.
And the snakes.
I will, I promise. It's treacherous, this Australia.
I know. It's terrible. Anyway, time to say goodbye, Rach.
Goodbye, Rach.
Oh, that was it then, was it? Okay. It's that which us grown-up little kids love so much. When Sooty says good night to us all.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
He's good at that, isn't he? We should really record that. That was Postcard from Poprad for another week. We'll see you back here same time next week. Now, don't forget, boys and girls, there is a massive new schedule on RTI. Steve Bishop's following us in a second, but how shall I put this? Those of you that used to like listening to shortwave radio, because you could listen to radio from around the world, this morning we've already had Holland, Australia, Wales, Ireland, I beg your pardon, then Slovakia, that's me counting, England is Leigh, and that's just in 5 hours. You've had stuff from all over the world. So keep it here, and there's more of it coming up with Let me just think who's coming. Yeah, we've got representation from Australia, America, Ireland, the UK. It's just such an international thing all weekend. Do look it up on www.rti.fm to get all the latest shows. And we're going to welcome Nick Martin, who lives over in Germany. The man from Radio Luxembourg is back on the radio again this weekend. Gosh, could you want anything more than that? I don't think you could. That was Postcard from Poprad, boys and girls.